$15 million bucks. He could take less from another team. They can match it if he can find a match, but it's a chess move. And it's like, we're going to control things. And what's interesting about Aaron Rodgers, he played for $10 million last year. Never complained about it. Never brought it up. I know he's made a lot of money in his career. Pro athletes care. They have short careers. I don't care how much money he's made. Government takes half, right? So he's made $300 million. He didn't have 150 of that. You know, that's the reality. You're paying agents, you know, your taxes, you don't have all that money. And Aaron Rodgers, go look at his numbers last season. They were, frankly, all things considered, in a defensive culture, they were excellent. He had a 95 passer rating, 102 in the red zone, 24 TDs, 7 picks. They were a great red zone team. They didn't have great red zone personnel. He made them a great red zone team. His completion percentage was mid-60s, 24 TDs, 7 picks. Aaron was good. And those are better numbers than Baker Mayfield. And Aaron got his team into the playoffs. Baker didn't. And Baker Mayfield has a team-friendly deal in Tampa at $35 million. Baker's deal, that's a team-friendly deal. And Aaron makes less than a third of Baker Mayfield last year and had better numbers. So just to give you some sense of how little money Aaron made last year and how little money he's going to make this year relative to quarterbacks, hell, relative to guys I've never heard of. His cap hit last year at the quarterback position, and I'm going to list some guys that aren't quarterbacks. His cap hit wasn't as high as Lloyd Cushenberry III, who I thought got knighted in the 17th century. I thought he was a high lord in Yorkshire, or King Charles's valet. Who's Lloyd Cushenberry III? He had a higher cap hit than Aaron Rodgers last year. That's good. So it's like, you know, we can say what we want about Aaron Rodgers. To go to Pittsburgh, which was tone deaf offensively, make $10 million bucks, never complain about it, and basically they do a chess move saying you're going to top out at 15. I know. And remember, with Aaron, because of some of the stances and opinions and quirkiness, the advertising market has dried up. It was like 5 or 6 years ago. He was all over, forget what insurance company, State Farm. He was making $25 million or something a year with State Farm. That's dried up.
Okay. I am genuinely excited to discuss this because there are some interesting conversations to be had here. I think Colin is approaching this from the wrong angle. You are talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. I have lived in Pittsburgh. You are addressing the wrong fan base right there. They are not going to respond with, "Oh, Aaron needs more money." Oh, no. That is a working class, blue-collar city. Those people put in the work. Go to Pittsburgh, they are real, genuine, down-to-earth folks. That is a lived-in city. An approachable city. It is actually technically one of the best cities to live in the country. Just very grounded, down-to-earth people who put in the hours. I worked surrounded by true Pittsburgh people. Let us leave it at that. So the whole idea that this is the conversation we are going to have, that is the wrong conversation. That is the wrong conversation. But before I go any further, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, please do not forget to subscribe and watch the full-length video. When you subscribe and watch the full-length video, and subscribe while watching at the same time, views go through the roof, subscribers go through the roof. And it is not about chasing views, not about chasing subscribers, not about chasing hundreds of millions of dollars like Aaron Rodgers. I would love to do it, but maybe one day. It is about being able to create content that people genuinely want to watch so we can keep producing the best possible Steelers content I can, so we can have real, honest, grounded, unbiased conversations about the Pittsburgh Steelers. So please do consider doing that. It goes an incredibly long way and is without a shadow of a doubt the best way to support the growth of this channel. Okay. So here is the thing. Money is obviously part of this equation. And I am not going to erase that from the conversation. I know I kind of poke fun at how Colin is going about it, but it is the wrong conversation. Because let us just get this out of the way. Aaron absolutely undeniably deserves more money. Undeniably. Everything Colin said specifically about the amount of money he is getting paid and what he is worth is 100% true. That aspect of it really truly is 100% true. And what Aaron brings to the table, it is honestly really hard to put a price on it. This guy has an absolutely bona fide elite mind as a quarterback. And this has been one of my big takes, whether it was Will Howard or now Drew Aller. It is that if you believe those quarterbacks are your quarterbacks of the future, having Aaron Rodgers in the building for those quarterbacks to learn from Aaron and absorb from him, that alone, even if Aaron said, I am not taking a single snap, but I am just going to be in the building, that alone is worth $10 million. Probably worth more. It just is. If you are a team and you say, hey, we could hire Aaron as a mentor, as an assistant coach, but it is going to cost us like $10 million. Do you want to do it? The answer is yes. Yes. Sign us up. So that alone is worth everything. The fact that this is not even being counted in the discussion makes me think of a show that I do not really like all that much, honestly, Shark Tank. When people are looking for a deal and they say, will you do it for like 5%? And the investor says, you are not factoring in what we bring to the table. Another investor might say, that is a good deal, but then the first responds, are you kidding me? Once I am on board with this company, the things I am going to be able to do for it are going to be massive. You are not factoring in what I actually bring to the table beyond just a checkbook. And that is what the Steelers are doing with Aaron Rodgers right now. And the fact that you are trying to play chess with Aaron and kind of back him into a corner is absurd. Because you need to create a situation where he wants to be there. Where he wants to be the best he can be. Where he wants to put in all the work with the team. The players themselves have said that Aaron has been so team forward. I told you how Cam cannot stop talking about how great of a leader Aaron is, how bought in he is. And then you do things like this, and that stresses that relationship. It does not make sense. And now, with the whole money aspect again, the Steelers are just being cheap here. 100%. When we were going through free agency, I went through all the numbers, all the breakdowns, all the contracts. By not paying Aaron, let us just say $30 million, $40 million even, they have the money to be able to do it. They are not now using that money to put themselves in a better position to win a ring this year. And since you have this floating 3-year window where you have to spend like 88% of the cap or whatever, if you do not spend the money this year, then you can have that roll over to next year. Given how the cap is working for the Steelers and whatnot, it is not like they are saving for next year. They can easily restructure deals in the most simplified, most basic way. You could just give me a calculator and I would be able to do it. You do not need a capologist. In the most basic, simple way that will have no true devastating repercussions, it is not like you are going to mortgage your future or say, because we paid Aaron Rodgers $30 million this year, now we cannot do X, Y, and Z in 2027 or 2028. That is not the situation. It is not the situation. So this is just bad. This is when we talk about teams being poorly run. I am not saying that the Steelers are poorly run overall, but this is a poorly run chain of events. This is a series of operations right now within this organization that you could just say, you are not doing this the right way. You are not doing this the right way. And it just does not make sense. None of this. Either just pay Aaron Rodgers because it is what he is actually worth, not only on the field, but off the field, and what he can bring to the young quarterback room that you reportedly are excited about. Unless you are lying, right? And if you are lying and you do not feel comfortable and competent with that quarterback room, well then that means Aaron Rodgers is even more important. So he is certainly worth more than the bottom of the barrel rate that you are trying to give him. So either way, you are wrong. Right? Either way, you are wrong. And then you are trying to essentially force Aaron's hand when he is probably in the final year of his career. At most, maybe one more year. I mean, who really knows, but it is obviously at the end. And you are trying to back him into a corner, and he is supposed to be all thrilled and excited about that? That is just absurd. That really is. It just does not make any sense. It does not make football sense. It does not make business sense. It does not make financial sense. None of it. None of it. None of it. No matter how you want to look at it. The only people who think it makes sense are those who say, well, Aaron Rodgers, this is what it is. I would not pay him any more than $10 million. He is not worth it. He has got nowhere else to go. And that is not how this works. That is not how this works. Remember how Justin Fields got paid like $40 million from the Jets, $20 million a year or something like that? How did that work out? Who the heck was Justin Fields for the New York Jets? The answer is nothing. Nothing. So it just does not make sense. It really, 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 really does not. And it is just absurd. It is just bad business. Bad operation. Either just move on from Aaron because you think, not really worth it. The only way it is really worth it is if we pay him the absolute bare minimum. And if not, then you have to pay him what he is worth. And if you think he is actually worth having in the building, then you have got to pay him. And you do not want to back him into a corner. It is just, oh my gosh, dumb. It really is. It is not smart business. No, it is dumb. If this were a video game, absolutely. If this were fantasy football, absolutely. But this is a business where you are managing a team of human beings, of players, of competitors. And that is why I like trying to figure out, well, Aaron Rodgers is not making as much money in advertising. All of that is irrelevant at the end of the day. It is not like Aaron is thinking, oh, I really need a lot of money. Otherwise, I will not be able to pay rent. That is not the conversation either. So money is obviously important, and it is an important part of this conversation, but we are looking at it from the wrong side here, which is then leading us to kind of have the wrong conversation. So yeah, I will say it one last time and end here. It is just bad business. It does not put you in actual positions to succeed in any concrete, measurable way. And then just ask yourself, is this something that the Kansas City Chiefs would do? Is this something that the Los Angeles Rams would do? Is this something that the Philadelphia Eagles would do? No. Look at the most recent teams that have won rings, who have been consistently great, consistently winning playoff games, Super Bowls, whatever. Ask yourself, is this something that they would do? The answer is clearly, obviously, undeniably no. So, those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about the Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, this whole thing, whatever it has become right now? It is really absurd. And honestly, everyone wants to blame Aaron Rodgers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are way more to blame. Way more to blame. Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let us get into some discussions. Let us get into some fights, but ultimately, let us just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we are really excited to be part of. I think we are well on our way to doing it. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.